I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 111, Flying Dragon. Released in 1998 in North America, this game was developed by Culture Brain and published by Natsume. Who the heck has ever played this game? Flying Dragon? Sounds like someone's gamer tag on Xbox Live. Well, regardless, guess I'm gonna be playing it. I had absolutely never heard of it, and it seemed a lot of people watching hadn't either. Although there were some people who showed up and had fond memories of the game. There's not too much else to say. I had zero knowledge of this going in, so no idea what to expect. Let's get into it. After registering my data in my memory card, I was prompted to select a game. There were two modes, SD Hiruyu, which said to build the strongest fighter by gaining treasure items, and Virtual Hiruyu, which said to improve your technique to be the strongest fighter. I didn't know what any of this meant, so I picked SD Hiruyu because it was the first choice. Within SD Hiruyu, there were a bunch of modes I could select: Circuit, Tournament, or Practice. There was also a treasure box, which didn't make much sense. I went ahead and did the circuit because that seemed like the main mode, you know? Next, I had to pick my character. There was Powers, Suzaku, Shoryu, Hayato, Ryuhi, Weiler, Yuka, and Robo Nohana. I went with Robo Nohana because why not be a robot? Plus, he looks a lot like Pete from the Goofy universe to me. Then it took me to like an equipment and stats screen. Maybe these are the treasures. It shows a really cheesy intro before a match along with the slowest dialogue of all time. I will win this match. I won't let you do that. I am the champion. My first match was against Powers. For the gameplay, it's a 3D fighting game. I had no idea what I was doing, so I was mostly button mashing. And you know what? It worked quite well. Powers was getting destroyed. My character had an attack where he flies across the screen to do a headbutt. It reminded me of E Honda. He's also wearing a mawashi like a sumo wrestler does. Yep, this is totally Robo E Honda, but with Pete's face. The butt slam attack was also proving to be really strong. The computer can block it, but they rarely do. I beat Powers in 2 rounds and I'd won the first match. Robo E Honda does a little victory dance, then it mentioned how I gained experience points for all my equipment. You can level it up by fighting battles. My second match was against Hayato. Each person you fight has their own unique arena, which is nice. Gives it a feel that you're invading their home or something like that. So if you notice the bar at the bottom, that's the special meter. You build it up by attacking the other player, and when it's full you can do your special attack. I thought it was a pretty neat mechanic. So, I beat Hayato in 2 rounds quite easily as well. If you're wondering, the difficulty was on normal by default. Pretty fair. I don't know if y'all have the same feeling as I do, but this just feels like such a strange game to have been ported to the US. I don't know, just something about it makes it seem like it would be a Japanese exclusive title. Like look, there's some broken translation here saying Chanko Nabe. The text that is fully English is extremely basic too. My third match was against Shoryu. This match was where I completely destroyed the AI. If I did a butt slam, jumped backward, then immediately butt slammed again, they would usually not really do anything to stop it. Sure, it wasn't perfect, but it was more than good enough to beat the computer with ease. After winning this match, it did a new cutscene saying I was awarded a new treasure. I received the Technique Headband X. You can win new items after certain matches. My fourth match was up against Weiler, and he made quite an entrance. He doesn't look all that much like him, but that crawling just made me think I was going up against Solid Snake for some reason. Too bad Robo E Honda is truly a weapon to rival Metal Gear. After that, I was in the final match up against Ryuhi. At the start of the match, he did a counterattack to stop my special attack. These require strict timing. You know what he can't counter though? Infinite butt slams. Ryuhi absolutely had no chance. It shows a brief cutscene with us standing on the top of the podium celebrating, then we're doing this like ballerina spin thing. Definitely a great angle for us to view. Then it shows us getting a treasure for winning and I got a repair kit. And finally it showed Ryuhi saying I hadn't won quite yet. The championship tournament was next, and the winner of that was the true winner. Interesting. I decided to check out the treasure chest after that. I had gained credits for each match, and you can use these to buy new treasures. It's a pretty rough interface, but you can buy gear upgrades to improve your stats in the circuit. I went to the practice mode next, and it's pretty solid. You can look at the entire move list for the character you're using, and it gives you feedback on the inputs you use so that you can see what you might be doing wrong. I learned I had an attack where I could launch my arm at the opponent. It said the championship tournament was next, so I figured that meant I had to select tournament now. It's an 8-player bracket, and I decided to stick with Robo-E Honda. The fighting itself isn't any different than the circuit, so I whooped Ryuhi, followed by Powers, then Suzaku in the finals. It just shows an image of a certificate saying you are the tournament champion, and that felt like that was all there was for SD Hiruyu mode. So then I went to the virtual Hiruyu mode. Here I could pick either 2D or 3D. Within 2D I could do either circuit or tournament. That seems familiar. The characters were mostly different here too. There was Ryuhi, Mean, Shoryu, Gengai, Hayato, Kate, Red Falcon, and Raima. I went with Red Falcon cause, well, there wasn't really a reason why. Then I got into the fighting. I was up against Mean first. Immediately I was greeted with how loud Red Falcon is. He just like screams at the top of his lungs when he attacks. Okay, this plays a lot like a Tekken. That won't get annoying, I'm sure. The fighting in this mode is your standard 2D fighting game, kind of like Tekken or Mortal Kombat. It felt so different from the other mode, but it did run a lot more smoothly. I actually lost this first fight, not a good sign. If I can't beat the first fight, then I'm screwed. So I went into the practice mode to try to learn a couple combos. I actually like the practice mode in this game a lot. It really helps you figure out if you're doing something incorrectly. With learning a few of those, I was doing a bit better. Specifically, Red Falcon had this dash attack that I could spam. Reminds me of playing as Raiden in Mortal Kombat. With this, I dominated quite a bit. Actually, all my opponents just had no chance. The dive attack does like 20% of their health, which is pretty ridiculous. Getting to the 8th fight introduced a new character, Raima. He just looked like a skinny robot. I thought this was the end, but there was one more fight to go. The final guy's name is Ryu Mao. I think he's supposed to look tough, but I don't know. His outfit just reminds me of Hercule in Dragon Ball Z, and I can't take him seriously. Honestly, the AI just can't handle this dash attack whatsoever. Like, it's not even close. Maybe on hard they would counter it, but definitely not on normal. It gave a tiny bit of lore saying the people continued to fight and the battle had just begun or whatever. And then the credits rolled. Wow, that was a pretty short one, yeah? I mean, I'd beaten both SD Hiruyu and Virtual Hiruyu, and so I guess that's it. Game complete. Or so I thought. Not too long after I'd finished the game, I received an interesting message on Discord. This person was saying I didn't actually beat Flying Dragon, not even in any % clear. I was confused, so I asked what they meant. In the circuit mode, there are apparently 10 medals you can collect. Once you collect all 10 of them, the credits will play and you've beaten the game. Very interesting indeed. Now you might be asking, hey, who the heck is this guy? What does he know? Well, it turns out I'm not the only N64 console challenger out there. As some of you might know, the Mexican runner was one of the earliest people to do something like this with his NES Mania challenge, where he beat all North American NES games. The guy who sent me these messages, Ace Gamer Sam, was also doing a challenge of his own. In fact, he's finished it by beating all 296 North American N64 game releases. That is quite an achievement, you know? And that's not all either. There's also That's a Dark Horse on Twitch who is beating all North American N64 games by release order, and I've recently discovered Mr. Radon who is 100%ing every N64 game, and he means all of them. Anyway, the point of all this is to say Sam's input definitely had some merit to it. And with what happened with Vigilante 8 early on in this challenge, I wanted to make sure I did what was needed before actually making this video. So the circuit he was referring to was within the SD Hiruyu mode. It seems the virtual Hiruyu mode was just like an afterthought for this game and they barely did anything with it. In fact, they completely abandoned it to solely focus on the SD Hiruyu mode in later releases. If you recall, after winning the circuit it says the tournament will be held next. Well, I understood this to mean, oh, I should go play the tournament mode. But that's just some side thing they put in to let you make a bracket of fighters for no real reward. Going back to the circuit revealed something new. It asked if I wanted to take part in the tournament, which, yeah, sure I do. It showed a banner saying this is the championship tournament. Unfortunately, not much is really different here fighting-wise. I was still playing as Robo-E Honda and butt-slamming everyone all day. Well, I won all the fights and won the tournament, but the exact same celebration was happening. This wasn't making sense. Finally though, after all the ending stuff, it showed a metal version of Ryu standing there. He said he'd be my opponent in the next tournament. Unfortunately, that meant I had to play through the regular circuit again first. For whatever reason, you have to do that before you can take part in a tournament. It just makes the game grindy. One cool thing about doing this is we get to experience more of the, well, experience. Your gear gains experience points after each battle, and my Kung Fu jacket had earned enough to evolve. Basically, higher leveled items will make you stronger in battle or give you special buffs. I think there's around 200 items in total, so good luck if you plan to get them all. After winning the circuit twice and making it to the end of the tournament for a second time, I finally had something new. Metal Ryu was waiting for me as the final opponent. There's a few special things about these metal fighters. The time is infinite, so it doesn't end until someone runs out of HP. The metal fighters also have much higher defense than normal fighters. Each one has a unique special ability. Metal Ryu's is just so annoying. When you attack him, you become frozen temporarily. This is disastrous because my butt stomp strats no longer worked. The idea of the strat was I could butt stomp then immediately jump away. Now I'm just stuck there like a sitting duck. After around 2 minutes of fighting, I lost round 1. Absolute disaster. This was so weird to me. My entire strategy for this game was just ruined by adding one new thing. In the second round, I found an okay strat by keeping my distance and doing the flying headbutt attack. If it knocked him back, I had enough time to get out of the stun lock. I brought his health down and... What? Oh my god, he just got almost all his health back. This is insane. They made this so much harder than anything else in the game up to this point. What a leap in difficulty. I lost, and even worse, it took me back to the circuit, so I'd have to beat it again to have another shot at Metal Ryu. The one saving grace I had was my equipment was leveling up during this, and having higher leveled stuff would make these fights a bit more reasonable. Getting back to the fight for the second time, I had a new trick up my sleeve. Maybe at the end of my sleeve. Robo-E Honda has a projectile attack where he launches his hand at the enemy. It turns out Metal Ryu doesn't really have an answer to that. It felt like playing against my brother in Street Fighter when I was like 4 years old and he would just spam Hadouken. Like, I had no clue how to stop it, and the AI doesn't know how to stop this. His health regenerated, but it didn't matter. I literally hadn't been attacked this entire fight. Also, what the heck is my character saying when he does this? The best I can make out is, oh yeah, two-ply. Maybe he's talking about toilet paper or something, I don't know. I absolutely annihilated Ryu, and that was my first metal fighter down. There's 10 of these in total and we need to beat them all. I received one of the 10 required gold medals for winning. It showed Metal Robo-E Honda saying he was going to fight me in the next tournament. Oh my god, it's like that Spider-Man pointing meme. After some more grinding, I was back to the finals, this time up against Metal Robo-E Honda. Right away, I noticed he was just insanely tanky. Like out of control tanky. Not only that, his health was slowly regenerating too. I had absolutely no hope of beating this guy, right? Even the butt stomp was getting countered. Guess I better whip out old Reliable. Just launching my fist into his face over and over again breaks the counterplay his ability's supposed to introduce. I don't know what it is, but this thing is so good. I now had 2 medals to my name, and up next was Metal Hayato. You know, after I win the circuit, then win another tournament, of course. To my dismay, Hayato's ability is that he takes no damage from projectiles. My oh yeah, 2-ply strat was done for. Oh god. I had to go back to my old ways and try the butt slam strats, and they worked beautifully. His other effect is that when he gets hit, he jumps in the air and is invulnerable for a brief time. This meant I had to delay the jump back towards him for the butt slam again, but it worked all the same. This fight was easy, 3 medals down. The fourth match was Metal Yuka. Oh yeah, I guess I should talk about the graphics and music at some point. I thought the graphics looked pretty nice. The art style and colorful design they chose really fits the environment they were going for in my opinion. The audio, on the other hand, is just bad. Not necessarily like the songs or anything like that, it's just the audio files themselves are so distorted. I have no clue what kind of compression was used, but it must have been severe. Anyway, Metal Yuka's only ability is that she has a new attack. The oh yeah 2-ply strats were keeping her stun locked for the most part, but she did get it off on me a couple of times. It hurts a lot. Thankfully, I didn't let her get it off and I won with ease. 4 down. The fifth metal fighter was Ryuhi. I'm not really sure what his ability's supposed to be. It didn't do anything special, other than, you know, having a lot more health than usual. This was the easiest one by far. This time after winning it showed something new. This creepy purple guy showed up and said he would be my opponent in the next tournament. Yeah, okay buddy, sure. He said he was opening the Ryu Mao tournament. Kinda reminds me of Emperor Zurg from Toy Story. When I went to the circuit, it took me straight to the Ryu Mao tournament. I was surprised to see the first fighter was a metal fighter. Metal Shoryu to be specific. It turns out all the fighters are metal in this one. It unlocks after you've beaten 5 of them. I beat Shoryu, Ryuhi, Suzaku, Yuka, then Hayato. I was completely expecting to fight Ryu Mao in the final round, but no, it was Weiler. His ability absolutely sucks. If I tried to do the famous oh yeah 2-ply attack, it just made me rise in the air and fall down. I felt so hopeless. Really, all I had going for me was butt slam strats, but he was so tanky. It literally took over 2 minutes to kill him, but it did work. Wait, what? That wasn't the finale. Now it's making me fight Metal Robo-E Honda. Well, at least I know how to handle him. Easy win. Okay, now it really is the final round, and it's against Ryu Mao, but he's metal. One thing was immediately clear here. His AI was different from everyone else. If I tried the oh yeah 2-ply strats, he sprinted towards me, preventing me from spamming it. Not to mention this thing where he sticks out his chest and I just get wrecked for no reason. My best bet was going for butt slams because it did a lot of damage. Problem is, he didn't get stunned by any of my attacks, so it's pretty rough. I ended up winning, but it wasn't easy. I didn't get a medal though. Hey, what gives? I beat a metal fighter, like come on. Well, there was nothing I could do except keep grinding. Next up in the tournament was Metal Powers. I think his ability makes projectiles not do much to him or something. I wasn't really sure honestly. My special attack did a ton of damage to him, so I tried to focus on using that. Another easy win and 6 medals down. Metal Weiler was up next, but we already fought him in the Ryu Mao tournament earlier. I knew how to handle this and earned my 7th medal. I was grinding my way to the next tournament and it was just a regular old fight with powers. It said new challenger, and I had no idea what was happening. Some guy that looked like Chaozu from Dragon Ball showed up and his name is Bokujin. I didn't understand at the time, but I got insanely lucky here. The only way to unlock this fight is just by having it happen randomly. Some players have reported it taking ages to get him to show up, but it did it for me before even unlocking all the medals. You can't roll the credits without Bokujin showing up. I'm not sure what the odds are, but I'll take getting lucky. So back to the medals, the 5th metal fighter is Suzaku. I fought him earlier in the Ryu Mao tournament, but I didn't explain it. He doesn't get any kind of special ability, just a new attack that his regular form doesn't have. Butt slam strats are the way to go here because they hurt, and if he does go for his new attack, well, you can just jump over it. I crushed Suzaku and took my 8th medal. 2 to go. Now it was up against Metal Bokujin. You can't get his medal until you unlock him, so if you didn't get lucky, well, just gotta keep grinding till he decides to show up. He used his special attack in this fight, which genuinely stunned me for over 5 seconds. That's ridiculous. That's not what his metal ability is though. That thing sucks. You might recall that the metal fighters heal when you take their health down. Well, this guy takes it to the next level. He healed all the way up to about 95% HP. I thought this was the end, but nope, he healed again when I took him down, this time to about 90%. I think you can see where this is going. He heals a total of 8 or 9 times, which is just so tedious. Thankfully, I had an armor piece that passively healed me over time, or I don't know how I would have handled this one. With Bokuchin down, I had all but one medal collected. The last one comes from the Ryu Mao tournament. Now, we already won this tournament, but apparently it doesn't matter until you've acquired the other 9 medals. Then the full potential unlocks. After grinding past all the medal fighters, I was surprised to see regular Ryu Mao. You'd think the metal one would be stronger. His first form had Weiler's ability, preventing me from doing the Oya 2-ply strats, so I had to resort to butt stomping. It went smooth and I won without too much trouble. But then he spawned in again. Why do I gotta fight this guy multiple times? The second form changes it up with the lovely way too much health ability that Bokuchin had. Oh my god, it makes it take so long, I hate it. I beat him up again and I was done. Wait, nope, he's got a third form. He says this is his final power though, so maybe it really is the end. He now had this crazy attack that warped me to outer space or something like that, and it did over half my health in a single hit. That is so ridiculous. Thankfully, I survived, and in the second round, I hit him with the Oya 2-ply, and that was it. Ryu Mao was down, and I had obtained the 10th medal. And finally, the credits played. Now the game really was complete. So yeah, there you have it, my journey to beating Flying Dragon. This one was strange. It's like they threw 2 games into one, but one of them was just thrown in at the last minute. Clearly, the main focus here is the SD Hiruyu mode. I like the ideas of this game, but I just think it was done poorly. Combining a fighting game with RPG elements to level up your gear is a cool idea, but I don't know, it doesn't feel fun to grind the same AI opponents over and over again for minimal gain. It also seems a few of the items in the game are glitched, so I think fully completing this one is impossible. Not to mention how distorted all the music sounds. It kind of hurts my ears, honestly. It's a game with good ideas, but they just missed the mark. I think someone could make something really cool like this, but this just isn't it. That being said, it's not awful or anything like that, it's decent. If you played it back in the day, maybe revisit it for an hour or two for some memories. I gave it a 4.5 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 4.5 out of 10 for difficulty. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Have a sneak peek at the next game. 279 games on the list. 3, 2, 1, go. 175. What's that? Oh, shoot. We are playing NHL Breakaway 99. Absolute banger of a game. Alright, it has been decided. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.